This crazy Hiusian Braviary plus Carbink combination was able to do really well in the last Stadium Ladder season. We're going to be trying out and seeing how well it can perform. This Hiusian Braviary combination is absolutely absurd. So we have the Carbink and Braviary, and what does this combination do? Well, Carbink is one of the few bulky fairy types in the format. You also have Sturdy, so it's more reliable to set up the Trick Room, and also has a few tricks like the Smackdown, which is a weak rock type move, but it does ground your opponent. So if a Pokemon is flying type or it's levitating, will bring the Pokemon down to the ground and make it vulnerable to ground type moves. But also a benefit is that it allows the Pokemon to be affected by terrain. So the idea here is to go for the Smackdown with the Carbink for the Braviary to not only activate a weakness policy, but allow it to take advantage of the psychic terrain you're going to set up with the entity to go for very powerful expanding forces that, even if they resist, is going to do a lot of damage because of the tinted lens. That is the main strategy of this team. It requires a lot of setup, so it is pretty inconsistent, but when you are able to, oh boy, that Braviary is just going to nuke Pokemon on the field. With this Carbink with the Terra Grass to help out against Amoonguss Spores, as well as any redirections that it can go for the Rage Powder on the Smackdown strategy. You have Trick Room that you want to set up with the Carbink. The Smackdown is very necessary for the strategy, and then Body Press, which is nice to hit the dark types, and actually does pretty well because Carbink has a really high defense stat, so it's actually able to do quite a bit of damage. Paired up with this Hiusian Braviary with the tinted lens, making the resistant attacks even more powerful, and that weakness policy with the Stellar Terra, so you keep that flying typing, and you can increase the power of the expanding force, able to dish out a lot of damage with the expanding force inside terrain if you are able to land it. The Dazzling Gleam for coverage against the dark types. Hurricane, a really strong flying coverage move, a bit inaccurate, but if you are able to land it, it is going to hurt quite a bit, and then Protect to preserve itself. We have the NDD Male, which is able to do a lot of damage. It's one of the faster Pokemon out there with the Choice Specs expanding force, able to dish out a lot of damage to weaken it for later Trick Room mons or clean up in an endgame scenario with very powerful expanding forces. Hyper Voice, Terra Ground, Terra Blast. His ground coverage is fantastic against like our Caledon and Golden Go, and Psychic if you do need to play around a wide guard. We have, with the rest of the team, we have the Farigiraf with the Life Orb and Sap Sipper. You don't even need the Armor Tail. It's just Sap Sipper on the Farigiraf because you do have the Psychic Terrain and you are immune to Amoonguss Spores, for instance. Helps out against Rillaboom Woodhammer. And I actually didn't know when I was playing this team that it was Sap Sipper. I only noticed it now. But yeah, it's actually not Armor Tail. It is a bluff because you do have the Psychic Terrain on Entity. Might not be as necessary. You have the Expanding Force under the Psychic Terrain. You're able to do a lot of damage. Hyper Voice for a really strong normal type attack. That's Spread. Terra Blast, Terra Fighting, which is really helpful against King Gambit, one of the biggest threats in the format and one of the most common dark types, but also Incineroar. And then Trick Room as another Pokemon that can set up that Trick Room. Next, we have the Sneasler. The Sneasler is a bit of a surprise with the Unburden ability with Iron Ball, which is a crazy one, but this Sneasler is actually very slow and it's supposed to take advantage of that Iron Ball so it can actually sweep under Trick Room. Terra Dark as well for a very powerful fling, also helps out against the opposing Psychic Mirror. But Dire Claw close combat coverage is incredible with the Protect to preserve itself. You don't need Fake Out because of the Psychic Terrain. And then Fling with Iron Ball is actually a really strong move, but also it does allow Sneasler to potentially get a very fast speed boost because of that Unburden boost and still allow to outspeed Pokemon, even though initially it is supposed to be slow mod. Can help for ending Trick Room scenarios where you can go for that Fling, get rid of that Iron Ball, and then you're going to be the faster mon out there and outspeed most Pokemon in the format. Finally, the Torkoal with the Drought. This one's interesting because it's running Safety Goggles and Terra Ghost for some reason, but just in case you face a Rillaboom, they go for Fake Out to stall out the Trick Room turns, and then you just go for Terra Ghost Eruption. Safety Goggles to switch into Amoonguss because this team really doesn't have the best answers to switch into Amoonguss other than Terra Grass Carbink, and then the Sap Sipper for Farigiraf. You have Eruption, you have Weather Ball for the coverage as a single target fire type attack that can play around Wide Guard, Earth Power, and then Protect. This team is absolutely crazy. We're going to be trying out and see how well it can perform. If you would like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. Golden Go, Dragonite, Incineroar, Porygon 2, Amoonguss, and the Ursaluna. All right, pretty standard team. Golden Go can be a little bit of a concern, but we should have an okay matchup. I do like the Carbink, which should be able to do the strat, I think, with the Braviary, assuming we're able to land the strat. So we're going to need Indity, which is really important. Dragonite's concerning because I feel like it's maybe Ice Spinner on this team, where Ice Spinner, which means that it's a lot harder to get the strategy off, but I'm still going to attempt it anyway. I think I'm going to bring Indity. I'm going to bring Carbink. I'm going to bring the Torkoal and the Hiusian Braviary, and we'll see what we can do here. We will see what we can do here, because Dragonite with Ice Spinner is definitely concerning. It's hard to actually set up the terrain twice, probably, because I mean there's no Rillaboom, so it is nice, but Amoonguss with Spore is a little bit difficult for the team to handle. I don't know if they're expecting any of the tricks or if they know the team. The Ursaluna can be scary. I don't know if I need to reverse Trick Room immediately or if I just need to go for the Smackdown immediately, because there's a world I just go for the Smackdown immediately into the Braviary for the Expanding Force. The only fast Pokemon that they have really are Dragonite and the Golden Go. I think they timed out too, so not sure what to really say, but we'll see what we can do here. Sneasler could have been good, but I am trying to feature the Hiusian Braviary, and it does need require a lot of setup here. So let's see. It's going to be the lead of the Dragonite and the Ursaluna. All right, versus my Indity and my Carbink. All right, interesting leads. We will set up the Psychic Search. I have no idea, but it's probably multi-skill Dragonite on this team, I imagine. Expanding Force is pretty good. I am faster than this slot, but yeah, it's gonna be a little bit difficult. I do want to go for the Expanding Force immediately, so I am gonna go for Expanding Force. The question is, what am I doing for you? Do I want to body press the Ursaluna immediately? Do I want to Smackdown? I could also go hard into Braviary, but I don't really see that being worth it. I think I'm just gonna go for a body press double up into Ursaluna, because I don't think the Smackdown damage is going to change anything for the Dragonite. We are going to get an Expanding Force. No protects. Huge amount of damage to that Dragonite. They go for a low kick into Carbink. Why? Okay, Earthquake. I should tank it. Yeah, I tank it with both. Okay, awesome. Body Press gonna come out into the Ursaluna. Pick up that knockout. And Carbink 1-0 on the board here. Okay. I don't know why they have low kick. I guess you can't go for Outrage. You can't go for Extreme Speed while the Psychic Terrain is up. I'm guessing you don't have Ice Spinner. Maybe it's Aerial Ace or Terra Blast is the move. It might be Terra Blast. I feel like that move probably has to be, right? They get Sturdy on the Porygon, which is interesting. I'm just going to go for the Expanding Force, and I guess I'm going to attempt to set up Trick Room. Do I want to go for Trick Room? I might be Incineroar in the back. I just want to figure out, is it worth... I should be slower than Incineroar with this Braviary set, so I will go for the Trick Room attempt. I could also Endeavor to Porygon, but I don't think it's really needed here. Dragonite reveals Protect. Okay, so they have Protect on the Dragonite. Interesting. Okay. If they KO the Indity, this is the perfect position. If they Trick Room, I mean, it's kind of same board, except I got damage on the Porygon, so that's fine. Wow, that did a lot less than I thought. That's a Choice Specs one too. Okay, they go for Thunderbolt, which is actually perfect into my Indity. So I get the Trick Room up, and assuming that I don't get like heavy RNG, this should be a pretty easy Braviary sweep, because I get to go into Braviary. I go for the Stellar Terra. I'm going for the Stellar Terra Expanding Force and the Self Smackdown. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Smack down the Braviary, so it's gonna be grounded, and then the Braviary will be able to hit their team with the Expanding Force. I'm hoping that this is gonna work out. So that ended up working out perfectly well. The Dragonite was kind of pinned today. Not bring Incineroar, because Incineroar, I guess, was the only Pokemon they could have switched into, but they just didn't have it. Like, I'm just surprised. Maybe it is Terra Flying Terra Blast, and they just did not want to commit to Terra on the Dragonite, because I think it has to be Extreme Speed and a Dragon move, probably. It could be the Scale Shot set. Actually, no, it's not Choice Band. So it's probably the Scale Shot variant. Scale Shot, Low Kick, Extreme Speed. I can't do anything in the Psychic Terrain against Carbink. So that's why they were forced to low kick. Okay. Stellar Terra on the Braviary. Just because that Porygon 2 took the Expanding Force way too well for my Entity. I feel like that's a really especially defensive-oriented Porygon. We're going to see a Terra, which is interesting, on the Dragonite. This Dragonite, what Terra are you? Terra Steel. Do they survive the Expanding Force? It's +2 we're about to give to our Braviary. Let's see. Smackdown coming out into the Braviary. We will get the super effective hit off, so the Weakness Policy will activate on the Braviary. And now we have the grounded Braviary, which means it can actually take advantage of the Psychic Terrain. Does Porygon move first? No, I don't know if they reverse Trick Room or not. But Expanding Force is going to come out into the Dragonite and the Porygon. Obliterate the Dragonite. Porygon 2 goes down. And that is what we absolutely love to see from this team. Goodbye, Porygon. And the last Pokemon, yeah, so Terra Steel, yeah, that should be the Scale Shot set guaranteed. That's the only set that really runs to Terra Steel. Moongus is the last. Okay. I'm going to protect the Braviary and reverse the Trick Room, I suppose. They're probably just going to forfeit because... Oh, they didn't forfeit. Okay. Braviary gets to hang around. They spore the Braviary slot. Unfortunate for them. Unless the Amoonguss has speed investment, I can actually reverse that Trick Room. And now... I don't know about that Amoonguss, but... here comes an Expanding Force, and here comes a... I could really do anything right now. I'm gonna... I guess Smackdown? Smack the Amoonguss while it's down, as that'll gonna be forfeited. I can't believe I got it off first try. I can't believe I got it first try. First opponent, first try. That's insane. Porygon 2, Amoonguss, Primarina, Pelipper, Rillaboom, and Arcaludon. Why is this the slowest Trick Room Rain team I've seen? And oh my goodness, why is it actually such a painful team to deal with? Yeah, this is not gonna be easy by far. Rain plus Amoonguss plus Rillaboom. If they had one, it's like, okay, it's fine. The fact that they have both, it does not look very, very good for my team. I do have Torkoal, and I think I need to bring it. They have double grass, for crying out loud, so I think I do need to bring the Torkoal. What else do I want to bring? I think it's Farigiraf lead. Farigiraf. I think Farigiraf Braviary is okay. The thing is, if I bring Braviary, I'm thinking of Torkoal and Entity. It's so hard to set up my Carbink, unfortunately. I think I just gotta brute force this team in general. Yeah, I think I have to. Actually, if I'm not set up to Carbink, is there a reason to bring Entity? Not really. Expanding Force is nice. I guess it's one of the faster mods too. But it might be just a Sneasler instead. You know what? I'm going to bring Sneasler instead. The reason I'm bringing Sneasler over the Entity is because if I don't bring the terrain, I don't have to worry as much about the terrain wars. So I might as well just go for it here. Let's see what they decide to lead. I'm leading Braviary because it kind of might bait the Electroshot. They lead Arcaludon, which means I could go in a Torkoal. They don't lead it, which is fine. We're going to see the Pelipper and the Primarina lead. Okay, scary. I can go Torkoal here if I want to and attempt a Trick Room. I could go for a straight up Hurricane. Yeah, these Pokemon do so much damage. I think it's probably better just to go for a... I think it's probably best just to go for a Trick Room. And probably harden a Torkoal. I really don't like this because the Pelipper can switch out and they can just go for Hyper Voice, but... I think I can't really let a Hyper Voice plus Weather Ball from Rain do too much to my Farigiraf, so I will go Torkoal here. They go for Weather Ball. Yep, it's into Farig. Okay, this is probably a double up. Yeah, we take it a lot better than that would have been in Rain. Hyper Voice is going to come out. We are able to tank. Nice. And Trick Room comes out. All right. Not terrible. Not terrible. They probably switch out the Pelipper I assume it's Rillaboom and Arcaludon in the back. I have no idea what they're gonna bring out. I think the play is just to go for a Terra Blast into the Primarina because I do need damage into it. Do I Eruption or do I Weather Ball to Pelipper? I could also switch out. Actually, switching out Sneasler is probably really good. They're not gonna... If they stay in a Raw Hurricane, they got me, but I just feel like Pelipper should always just switch out. We bring out the Sneasler. They stayed in with the Pelipper. Oh, no. That's good damage to Primarina. Jeez. Wait, that's really good damage. They went for Hyper Voice again. I'm able to tank it. Okay. A Weather Ball for Rig. Okay, that's not too bad for me. I mean, these aren't great, but I mean, this is acceptable. I kind of wish I Hyper Voice instead, but you know what? I'll take it. Leftovers on the Primarina. Okay. I think I'm just going to go out in the Braviary and threaten the damage into the Pelipper slot. I think I'm just going to go for Expanding Force and the Dire Claw into the Pelipper. If they go Arcaludon, I mean, it's not great, but it's still playable. They are going to retreat the Primarina this time. Oh, this might be Arcaludon on the Dire Claw, which is super ideal, actually. I think that's, yeah, it's Arcaludon, yeah. No Protect, which is beautiful. Okay. Okay, as long as that wasn't Para, because if a Para it was actually going to underspeed me, I'll take it. I get the Expanding Force off into the Pelipper for a good amount of damage. I actually didn't knock out, which is actually shocking. So the sleep actually does matter, but that's Dire Claw for you. That is Dire Claw for you. All right. I guess I'm just going to Dazzling Gleam in close combat. They can't Electroshots unless they're Power Herb. So I'll take this. I mean, it came down to did they hit a 70% Hurricane? If they Weather Balled, I was fine with that because they weren't taking a knockout regardless. We're going to see the Pelipper retreat. What is coming in? It is going to be the... I think that's Primarina coming in. Okay. I don't mind Primarina coming in. They revealed a Terra here, which is smart on them. All right. So Arcaludon's going to Terra into what? Water? I mean, that's not bad for me. It's not amazing for me, but it's not bad for me. Okay. Close combat's still going to do a massive amount of damage. Yep. Dazzling Gleam probably doesn't pick up the knockout, especially if it's a Assault Vest, but it's Stamina, which is nice, actually. Dazzling Gleam. That's Assault Vest. Yep. Okay. Dragon Pulse. I feel like we'll have one, right? Yeah, barely. Barely. Whew. All right, we can go for a Dire Claw on the Primarina. We can Expanding Force the... I think we KO. Is there a Terra that helps me here? Ghost Terra? I would say that Stellar Terra is probably the one I want to go here, but I don't know if they sack in the back. Dazzling Gleam did so little, but I feel like Expanding Force should be enough. I'm just going to go for Expanding Force and I'm going to go for Dire Claw into the Primarina. Okay. So... this is a good spot. We should be able to go for the... we should be able to get a huge Dire Claw off into the Primarina. Threaten the knockout. If they protect or switch, it's fine because I should get the knock on Arcaludon. They're going to switch out to the Primarina, which is interesting. Is this Pelipper? Okay, I guess they're hoping that the Arcaludon somehow survives an attack. I was not going to Hurricane. I thought about it, like Hurricaning the Arcaludon. I am not going for the Hurricane in Sun if they stay in, because they already stayed in once. I was already shocked by, so I'm not risking it there. We're going to go for the Stellar Terra and boost up our damage output of Expanding Force, which should do more than the Dazzling Gleam and pick up that knockout into Arcaludon. Dire Claw going to pick up the knockout on Pelipper. Nice. And we keep our flying typing for what I assume is a Rillaboom in the back. Expanding Force. Should pick up that knockout. Yep. Okay, feeling pretty good, feeling pretty good. Only Pokemon I'm actually concerned about is Rillaboom, because Rillaboom actually will do a ton of damage that I have to respect. So, Trick Room is over. They get to bring out some fun partners. It is Rillaboom, not too surprising. And the Primarina. Now, Primarina is a mon I do have to get rid of, because Primarina is the one with the spread attacks that do the most damage to the Braviary as well. I think I just double protect here on the fake out, because unless the Primarina has some kind of setup move like Calm Mind or Substitute, which is very rare on Primarina, the most of them are just the haze sets, I should be safe to go for the protect. The next turn is what I'm concerned about. They protected the Primarina this turn, which I'm shocked by. Unless they don't have fake out on the Rillaboom, but maybe they want to build up damage on the Braviary. Okay. So we go for the double protect as they Grassy Glide my Sneasler. The thing is, you saw the speed order, so you should have probably assumed that you just outspeed anyway. I guess they confirm it now. Oh, I guess they get a bunch of recovery on the Primarina. Huh. That's also another reason why. But I mean, you could just faked out Hyper Voiced. I think I got a Wrist of Rain Hyper Voice, right? Because I think I need accurate Hurricane to pick up the knockout into the Primarina. So you know what? I'm going to go for Dire Claw. I'm going to go for the Hurricane. Because Expanding Force after Life Orb, I feel like it's barely going to miss a knockout on the Primarina because of its really good Spadef. You go for Grassy Glide. They target down the Braviary. Really glad it wasn't Woodhammer. Oh, they move. Why did they move? Oh, they Moonblasted to cover for the Torkoal switch. Okay. That's actually perfect because I get the Hurricane and I get the Dire Claw off. Okay. The reason I just didn't want to do that was the Torkoal, but apparently I think it was the wrong play because I think if they Woodhammered Hyper Voice, I probably lost here because the damage was more than I expected from the Primarina. It is a spread move though with Hyper Voice, but Rain boosted. I mean, I can't tell. But I feel like if they Woodhammered, I definitely would have lost. So I think maybe I should have went to Torkoal and hoped for it. So that might have been a mistake on my end because I a little bit overestimated on how well Braviary was taking that attack. But you know what? We're the ones who are taking the win anyway. We're Hurricaning, and I guess we're going to go for Dire Claw. I think I should have went Torkoal. The reason is I thought we were going to be able to survive maybe the double up against the Primarina. We would go for the Hurricane that's accurate into Primarina, and then Torkoal just beats the Rillaboom, assuming no high horsepower. But you know what? Thinking about that, like, it was more inclined that they Moonblast, so maybe it was like an acceptable play anyway, because the Torkoal switch might have been obvious if they weren't sure about the Expanding Force knockout to Primarina, because if I know that Expanding Force is pick up the knockout, I think like always go for the Expanding Force there, but I just didn't think it was. But maybe even then I should just go for the raw Hurricane into the Primarina and gamble to 50-50 because yeah, the Primarina was actually still dangerous. Garchomp, Gardevoir, Murkrow, Samurott, Hisui, Hisuian, Arcanine, and Gengar. Why is this an anti-fun team? Like, double dark? Really? Okay. This is not going to be an easy game. Yeah, like, the Samurott's really tough. They have the Murkrow, which is actually kind of scary here. They don't have terrain control, which is kind of nice. That's one of the positives, I suppose. I think I'm just going to go with Indity, and I think I got to do Indity Carbink. It's really hard to think of anything else. Like, maybe Farrig, Torkoal. Like, Eruption doesn't sweep. They have 3 Pokemon that are pretty good at tanking Eruption. I think I definitely bring the Braviary in the back. I need to try setup. I think it's Farrig as well. Otherwise, I bring Sneasler, but I'm not too sure if Sneasler's the right call here. It's not awful with the close combat, but the thing is super hard to switch in. Because I feel like I might need a more Trick Room, because Imprisoned Gardevoir is probably one of the more common Gardevoir sets. If it's Imprisoned Gardevoir, I need... my lead is going to definitely take a lot of damage, so I need a way to set up Trick Room in the end game, and I think... or in the mid game. So, like, I probably do need Farigiraf as well. So, this is going to be extremely difficult. But we'll find out. Arcanine Murkrow. Okay, that's a lot easier to handle against the Carbink and Indity. I very much appreciate that. Okay. So I'm just going to fire off the damage into the Murkrow. I'm going to go for Hyper Voice, get some big damage, and I'm going to go for the Trick Room. They don't have a way to stop Interesting lead here from them. I assume this is head smash on Arcanine. Carbink takes attacks extremely well. Foul play is going to do no damage too, so I imagine we're able to take these hits like no problem. So I wonder what they're going to try to accomplish here. Foul play probably, or are they going to tailwind? If they tailwind, then the Arcanine's faster than my Entity and I don't get any damage, which is fine. I get to trick them up, which is actually a pretty big deal. If they go for foul play into Entity, I'll take it because I get good damage, I think, into the Murkrow, which is one of the Pokemon that's stopping me from sweeping. Sunny day. For Flare Blitz, I suppose. Okay. I don't mind that. A Hyper Voice is going to come out. Huge. Decent damage. Flare Blitz going to come out. I forgot. Were you Intimidate or were you Rocket? I probably should have remembered that. The Entity goes down. Well, I mean, we're going to find out. Okay, it was Rocket. Trick Room comes out. I mean, I don't think this is a terrible spot. I don't think this is a terrible spot. So I'm going to go out into my Hiusian Braviary. I think we just go for the body press into the Arcanine and protect. Protect is a bit passive, but I think this works out pretty well because I'm either A, going to KO Hiusian Arcanine, which I don't think I am with the body press, but that's actually what I'm trying to aim for. I'm trying to aim for a position where I can go for Smackdown Dazzling Gleam and then threaten the double knockouts. So let's see. We will protect the Braviary here as the body press going to come out into the Arcanine. Oh, we actually do pick up the knockouts. I could just went for well, I can't go for a Smackdown Gleam in this position, so still probably better. Foul play into the Braviary. That's fine. Okay. All right, what's coming in? Could be Gardevoir, could be... I mean, if it's Garchomp, that would be super ideal, but I don't think so. Yeah, Samurott makes sense. Okay, I'm going for... I risk the Stellar Terra? Because I don't know if they Terra themselves. I mean, I think my best play is just to go for a... Dazzling Gleam and a Smackdown... Question is, do I go for the Stellar Terra? Do I need the Terra on the... I don't really need the Terra on the Farigiraf or anything, right? Yeah, it doesn't help. I mean, it could go for Terra Blast, but the thing is, Samurott's going to be heavily weakened in this position. I'm just going to go for Dazzling Gleam, and I'm going to go for Smackdown. If they Sucker Punch with the Samurott, good play on their part. Hopefully we'd be able to survive a Sucker Punch combined with the Smackdown, but I think it just comes down to like if there's a Terra, well, item and Terra are going to be really important on the Samurott. So let's see. Go for that Stellar Terra. Oh, they protect, which is super ideal actually, because I can threaten body press into the Samurott the next turn. Okay. Smackdown into Braviary. So we'll be having the expanding forest threat option. But more importantly, the weakness policy is set up. The Murkrow didn't Terra, so Dazzling Gleam should pick up the knockout Murkrow. We should easily always outspeed the Murkrow under the Trick Room. And let's see. Dazzling Gleam. We did use our Terra boost though on the Murkrow. I wanted to do that in case it was a Solfest Samurott and I wanted as much damage as I possibly could. Now I think we're in a fantastic spot. Let's see who they bring out. Garchomp, perfect. Okay. I mean, I think I just go for Dazzling Gleam and I go for Body Press. Because Garchomp's probably protecting, and then Samurott is doing whatever Samurott wants to do. It can only Terra one of these Pokemon, so if the Garchomp Terras, the Samurott's going down to the Body Press plus Dazzling in combination, and the Garchomp's still not picking up a knockout. The Samurott Terras, they're still taking a heft. Oh my goodness, why are you Terra Ghost? Okay. Wait, that could be bad. Because I was thinking I could Body Press Chip. I can't really Body Press Chip this mon. All right. So Body Press is going to go out into the Samurott. The Dazzling Gleam going to come out. I also could have Expanding Force, but I didn't know if they might gamble the Terra Steel on the Garchomp or not. But the Samurott makes more sense. That's a lot of damage still on the Samurott, though. Night Slash going to come out, pick up that knockout into the Braviary. Gets a critical hit. Doesn't matter, I think. I think it's just going to come down to... Oh boy, this is going to be a close endgame. I'm going to go out into my Farigiraf. Body Press and Expanding Force should probably pick up the knockout. The thing is, I think if I go for the double Trick Room and I get the read right, I win the game. I don't know if they're going to attempt a double protect on Garchomp or if they're going to Earthquake. The Samurott, I feel like, protects here. We'll find out. You know what? I'm going to go for the double Trick Room. Sometimes you do have the ball here, and I think I will. Yep, they do protect the Samurott. I don't know if this is Earthquake Garchomp or a double protect. Show me a double. They just Earthquake, which is fine, because as long as I have Trick Room, I'm still in a pretty good spot, I'd say. Okay. So we go for the double Trick Room. The problem is beating the Garchomp should be fine. Should be fine. Actually, Psychic Terrain's about to end. Yeah, that's the weird part. And Earthquake knocks out both. I mean, Expanding Force KOs the Samurott. This is such a weird position. It's mainly because it's Terra Ghost. If it wasn't Terra Ghost, it'd be fine because I could just Expanding Force here. Oh boy. I think I want to Expanding Force the Samurott, and I think I want to Endeavor to Garchomp. Alright, damage on the Garchomp. I think it just depends on if the Garchomp clicked Earthquake. If the Garchomp clicked Earthquake, it's over. So I get the KO on Samurott with Expanding Force. If we only had like one... We just needed one more turn. Okay. Samurott goes down. Did the Garchomp Earthquake or did it Stomping? It's Stomping. Okay, that's actually really good. Whew. Okay. I wasn't sure if they were going to go all in on the read of Earthquake. So this really worked out. The Garchomp takes a Life Orb chip, and now because of that Endeavor from Carbink, we can now pick up a knockout guaranteed with Hyper Voice. Ooh. Granted, I mean, this is still a game because the Garchomp can get 3 protects in a row. So that's going to be the big concern. Does Garchomp get 3 protects in a row? As we freshly set up the Trick Room. Actually, no. Is it? Yeah, it is 3 because they're not going for it, which is surprising. I do KO the Garchomp. They saw that I was Life Orb, so I'm very shocked that they didn't go for the triple. But you know what? We'll take it. We'll take it. That was a very rough matchup. The fact that they were Terra Ghost too. If it was any other Terra, we were fine. But Terra Ghost was awful position-wise, because the not hitting it with Body Press, not being able to hit it with a normal type of attack like Hyper Voice. Like if I had any of those options, I would have probably just won on the spot. But oh, of course not. Annihilate, Ursaluna, Indity, Hatterene, Torkoal, Armarouge. All right, 2 Trick Room teams face off. Kind of a weird situation, I suppose. Very weird situation. I think I'm gonna just do Indity for Rigorath. It's such a weird lead, but I think it will work in general. I don't really like Torkoal because it doesn't KO anything because it's Safety Goggles on this team and not Charcoal. I think I'm going to do Carbink and Braviary still and try something. What's nice is Braviary is still faster than I think all the Trick Room users except Torkoal and Hatterene. The Ursaluna, I think it will depend on if it's actually min speed or not, but if it's min speed, it is still pretty annoying. But at least Carbink can threaten the Ursaluna with Body Press if I've gotten some kind of chip into it. I feel like my lead's pretty good offensively against their team if they don't know the sets, because there is Hyper Voice on the Indity with choice specs and the Life Orb Hyper Voice from Rigorath. They also have to fear Imprisons because I do have both Mons which can calmly run Imprisons. So we'll see. It's not an easy game by far. It really depends on how much knowledge they have of the team and what they exactly expect me to do here. Like I would ideally like not Trick Room set up because the Torkoal just sweeps. But Torkoal doesn't sweep me. I do have Carbink that can take 1. But it's really going to depend on the others. Terra-wise, I don't think I'm ever terroring the Torkoal. I could see myself terroring the melee. I think it's the Braviary. Indity Hat lead. All right. Versus my Indity and my Rigorath lead. It's so weird here. So weird. Luckily, no Annihilate, because that's what I was scared of. The Terror Blast doesn't do anything here. I am just going to go for Hyper Voice, and I'm going to go for... Do I just double Hyper Voice, or do I Expanding Force? Expanding Force is resisted, but the stab's pretty nice. But I think I just lock in the Hyper Voice and go for double Hyper Voice. And then I go for Hyper Voice plus Trick Room, I think, afterward. I think Entity probably attempts a Trick Room, and the Hattering goes for an attack here, because Hattering shouldn't be threatened by a knockout. Or we see a double swap, which is interesting. Whatever's coming is taking a bunch of damage. Ursaluna. That is shocking. You are taking a huge amount of damage from this Hyper Voice. Yeah, like, look at that damage. Look at that damage. They didn't Trick Room. They thought I was going to imprison. Oh my goodness. That's so much damage we just did. Okay, Hattering goes down. Fantastic. Okay. Flamer we're going to activate. Terra Ghost is still kind of annoying, but I think we'll be okay. I wish I locked in Expanding Force now. I would have done more damage. I would have probably just knocked out the Ursaluna without any consequences. I'm going to go for Hyper Voice, and I guess the question is, do you have Trick Room or not? I think my play is just to always go for a reverse Trick Room here, because there's a chance that the Ursaluna protects and the Entity goes for Trick Room. Actually, I kind of want to... No, you know what? I think Expanding Force is always the play. Oh, they did protect. I should have Trick Roomed. Okay. I wasn't sure if they were going to go for Terra Ghost Facade. Hope that they ate up both Hyper Voices, Facade the Farigiraf, and go for a Trick Room. Because I thought that was a way that they could play around reverse Trick Room, which I had the option for. But looks like it's not the case. I mean, I still think this is fine, because I get good amount of damage to the Entity here. Yeah, like, look at that damage. That's pretty massive. And Trick Room's going to go up. All right. Ursaluna's on a timer. If they want to get double knockouts, you have to Earthquake. The Entity doesn't pick up a knockout here. I just go for Hyper Voice. I am going to attempt to reverse Trick Room. Not much to say here. Carbink needs to kind of clutch up. Carbink does need to kind of clutch up. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like reverse Trick Room was probably... I mean, the thing is, I still think that the Terra Ghost option was a possibility from the Ursaluna, but the Protect play probably... Like, the thing is, reverse Trick Room could have been a thing there. So I'm still not sure. Like, I mean, in this situation, reverse Trick Room was always the play. I mean, that worked out. Entity's going to swap out into Torkoal, which is surprising. Okay, I either reverse the Trick Room or I get a Specs Hyper Voice off, which is still pretty good for me, I think. They do go for the Terra here, so I think they should always be targeting down the Farigiraf. Yeah, the Terra. I guess it depends on if Carbink can take the attacks. They do Facade, the Farigiraf. I can't really do much about it. On the bright side, this is Heat Wave and not Eruption. Actually, no, this position's not too bad. I'm going to Hyper Voice. Huge damage to Torkoal. The Ursaluna is still on a timer. Do I think it's at Smackdown range? Oh my goodness, that's crazy. I don't think it is. I'm going to Braviary here. I'm going Braviary. I'm clicking Protect on the Braviary. And I'm just going to Hyper Voice. It should just be attacks from my opponent. And then we're going to go Carbink. If Carbink outspeeds, absolutely insane. They Weather Ball, not Heat Wave, which is interesting. Okay. But I guess they don't want to risk a miss in this position, which I guess is fair. If it's not Choice Lock Torkoal, that makes a lot of sense too. The Facade going to come out into the Braviary. Okay. Do I think that Carbink can pick up the knockout into... Wait, A, do we outspeed? And B is... Like, I have no clue. I think I'm just going for it anyway. I'm going to smack down to Ursaluna. I'm going to go for Expanding Force into the Torkoal. It'd be really cool if Carbink actually just outsped the the Ursaluna right here and picked up the knockout. A Weather Ball, the Braviary, and not the Carbink. And Carbink has Sturdy. We are able to hang on. Oh, that is choice specs. Wait, they go for Headlong Rush into the Carbink. The Carbink hangs on with Sturdy. And we are able to go for the Smackdown KO in Ursaluna. Okay, so it's just because they didn't go for spread moves here. Smackdown to Ursaluna. Picks up the knockout in Ursaluna because they didn't take the knockout on Braviary too. I'm good. I'm good. Was that speed type? I have no clue. I can't remember off the top of my head, but Benny Force gonna knock out the Torkoal. Now it's Indity versus the world, and Indity underspeeds my Pokemon. So that's really good. And I should be able to go for Body Press, KO the Indity, and Gleam. Yeah, that should pick up the knockout. We go for Body Press. We go for a Stellar Terra Dazzling Gleam, I suppose. Like, they don't have Terra anymore. Okay, we pulled through. We pulled through. I think. Unless the Indity... Did we see an item? Because we technically haven't seen an item, so technically there is a lose con. This is ladder. Anything can happen on ladder. I'm hoping that this anything is fiction, but Body Press comes out. This is a knock on Indity. Okay. And it's Rocky Helmet, so it wasn't like well, we saw it wasn't like an Iron Ball or something crazy, but goodbye. Yeah, I knew I could bluff in prison. I think I made the play of not going for the reverse Trick Room. The fact it didn't lock in the Heat Wave made it so much easier. But again, I don't know if the Ursaluna... I just can't remember what Carbink's and Ursaluna's normal form B tier is, because I think we outspeed Blood Moon guaranteed, but I don't remember. I just can't remember the regular Ursaluna speed tier. Actually, I'm gonna check that out real quick. Okay, yeah, we're literally just speed tying. So if they did lock in a Heat Wave or something, it literally just came down to a speed tie that I did lose with my Carbink, because they're both base 50 speed. Grimmsnarl, Incineroar, Mousehold, the Archaludon, Sinistra, and Annihilate. Oh boy, it's beat up stuff most likely. Screens, Annihilate. This does not look like a fun team to handle. Yeah, this is not going to be an easy one to handle. Trying to figure out what I do, because Grim is tough. There's no Pelipper, which is interesting, actually, now that I think about it on this team. They have forgone the Pelipper for an Incineroar. Does that help me? Not really. I think I'm still going to do the Indity lead. I think I'm going to try Carbink and try to brute force this team with the Hiusian Braviary. Because, like, there's not really too much room to really just blow up this team. It's really difficult. And then Torkoal and the... Actually, is it Torkoal? They have so many fighting weeks. It's probably better just to bring... I think I just bring this Sneasler. Because they have so many fighting weeks. It's worth it. Yeah, this is a tough one. Screens are not fun for this team. It's let's just say this is not going to be a fun one. I think I'm pretty sure I'm going to get screened here, but Grimmsnarl and Incineroar, yeah, that's going to be... I mean, that's a fine lead for me. I can just go for Hyper Voice immediately, and I think I would body press the Grimmsnarl because I want... Actually, would I body press the Grim? I'd probably body press the Incineroar because I want to get rid of... I want to, like, get as much damage to Incineroar as possible, right? Because that is the Pokemon that's most likely the one with the dark coverage attack. Yeah, I'm just going to body press and Hyper Voice. They go for a light screen, which makes sense. I'm going for the Hyper Voice. That does nothing to that Incineroar. Oh, it's Assault Vest. That makes sense. Okay. All right, so it's Assault Vest Incineroar with Snarl. Great. We will go for the body press into the Incineroar. That's actually a really good chip. Okay. Unfortunately, they probably still have a Sinistra. I guess I'm just going to go Sneasler. And I'm gonna go for a Trick Room here. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for a Trick Room. Set up my Sneasler to get in and dish out some heavy damage. I think Incineroar probably retreats here into either Sinistra or Annihilate. Probably Annihilate, I'd imagine. Yep. This should be Annihilate, and this should probably be either Spirit Break or Reflect. Yep. So according to the plan so far, they go for Reflect. Yep. All right. Get the Trick Room. The Annihilate is still going to be problematic, but we can play around it. I'm going to go for a Dire Claw into the Grim, and I'm going to go for a Body Press also into Grim. Misty Terrain, that's... I mean, it's not great, but it's not awful. Body Press going to come out into the Grim. Doesn't do that much. Dire Claw going to come out as well. Picks up that knockout, all right. So we get rid of the Grim as they bulk up here. Yep. Okay. If we can force a Terra from Annihilate, that would be really nice. If they go Incineroar? Yeah, this is fine if they go Incineroar. I don't know who they're going to fake out, but I think my play is just to always go out into my... It's always to go out into my Braviary, and I think it's just Body Press the Incineroar. They're probably going to fake out the Carbink and actually I don't know if you Terra. The thing is, if you Terra the Incineroar, your matchup against the Psychic modes is really bad. With the Annihilate not being able to Terra, I think is pretty massive. So we're going to Braviary. They don't fake out, so they give me the Incineroar with Body Press. That's incredible for me. Okay. All right, they're down to their last two, which is incredible. Incredible. They're going to go for a second bulk up. That's +2 Rage Fist. Okay. The thing is, they don't threaten too much right off the bat. We're going to see Sinistra come in. Perfect. Okay. They do have Rage Powder potential on that Sinistra. I don't know. Who are you going to Terra? I don't know who's going to Terra here. Do I just throw off a Raw Hurricane? So Smackdown, I don't... If I Smackdown, I'm worried if the Rage Fist actually knocks me out at +2. But if I isolate the Annihilate, I think I'm in a good spot. You know what? I'm going to go for Hurricane. I'm going to go for my Terra Grass. I'm going to go for Smackdown into the... Braviary. Let's see. Because the Sinistra doesn't usually carry Protect. I feel like Rage Powder would make a lot of sense on this team. And if I can get rid of the Sinistra, that's so big. Isolating that Annihilate. We also force a Terra here, which is great because we can actually go for an Endeavor Strat into the Annihilate later on. Okay. That Terra Electric? Okay, sure. Sure. All right. Smackdown? All right. Just Hurricane hits the Sinistra. That's all we need. If we miss, we'll play a mind game, I suppose. Okay. Huge. Goodbye, Sinistra. The Annihilate is left alone. The Annihilate is left alone. Rage Fist gonna come out into Braviary. I don't think this knocks out. Oh, it does. Okay. That's still fine. It's not ideal, but it's okay. I think I'm going to go out into Indeedee. Okay. So I still got to deal with the Annihilate. The Annihilate is a bit concerning. I'm going to bring out the Indeedee. Get the Psychic Surge up. I mean, this is still rough. 3 turns of Light Screen. If I stall it out, I'm in a good... I mean, I guess... Yeah, I'm still in a good spot. But I need chip damage on the Annihilate. That's a problem. I'm swapping out into my Sneasler. And... I think I'm actually going to Trick Room here. Just so I don't hit the Annihilate. So let's see what they do here. Do they bulk up again? If they bulk up, that's really bad. But no, they just Drain Punch the Sneeze. They're perfect. Okay. Super ideal. Trick Room. I think the play is always to protect the Sneasler and go for a Trick Room again. I'm stalling out the light screen turns, which is the important part. Although I am stalling out my Psychic Terrain turns, so I gotta be careful about that. A Rage Fist and a Sneasler this time. Perfect. Because they don't want any Dire Claw BS. Gonna go for a Trick Room. Okay, the reason, again, stalling out these light screen turns. Super huge. I'm gonna make a risky play. If they read this, incredible. But I'm actually gonna Trick Room again. And I'm gonna go for a swap into my Entity. Because stalling out more turns, the way we don't get knocked out here. Hey, bulk up. Okay, that's fine. Bulk up is fine. Bulk up is a-okay. Trick Room comes out. Okay. Light screen wears off. Okay, I can go for an Expanding Force now. I'm not sure if I really want to. There's 2 turns of Psychic Terrain. I think my play is just to always go back into Sneasler. And I'm actually going to go for a... Am I risking Endeavor now? I think so, because Rage Fist doesn't change any... No, Rage Fist doesn't change anything in this spot. So if they want to hit the Carbink on a read, that's fine. Just don't Rage Fist the Sneasler. Yep, perfect. They Drain Punch. Yep, I'm able to hang on. I had a feeling. Huge. Endeavor. The chip is actually important because we want to set up for the Expanding Force knockout. That's the big part. Reflect wears off too, so the Body Press will do more, although that shouldn't really be a factor. This is the last turn of Psychic Terrain. I want to sack here. I'm going to go for a Dire Claw or very close combat. I guess Dire Claw gives me better odds, right? Yeah, Dire Claw gives me better odds. And I'm going to go for Endeavor again. They're going to protect. I guess get more leftovers recovery. That's fine. Okay. I think we're going to win. I think. I hope that we have enough firepower to break through the Annihilate. I hope. If I want to go crazy, I attack my own Carbink. But I don't think that's ever worth it. Actually, do I Fling? Fling might be better here. Because Fling, get rid of my item for Unburden. Then I'm double speed. I outspeed the Annihilate. Because if they Drain Punch the Carbink... Actually, I think Fling might be better. I think I'm going to Fling and Endeavor. They're going to Drain Punch the Carbink. Perfect. Which means I have a stronger Endeavor, which is cool. And this Fling will allow me to get the speed back on this Sneasler. So I can outspeed the Annihilate and threaten it. We don't really care about Rage Fist at this point in the game. Endeavor going to come out. And now my Sneasler's faster than Annihilate. And then I have 2 threats that should be faster than Annihilate. They have to respect the Entity and they have to respect the Sneasler. I can go for a Dire Claw into you. And I'm going to go for a Body Press into the Annihilate. They go for Protect. That's fine. They Drain Punch my Sneasler. They just taken too much damage with Annihilate that I don't think they can win. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've taken way too much damage in order to win. So I will go for the Dire Claw and I will go for the Body Press. This Dire Claw status gives me really good odds no matter what. I mean, I think I still win with just Entity regardless, but might as well increase those odds further and make it harder for my opponent to come back. All right. You go for the Drain Punch. Oh, Carbink hangs on. I could have Endeavored here. Unlucky, but that's fine. All right. Body Press. Not bad. Not bad. Like, what else do you want me to say? What's funny is I can spam Endeavor and I can spam Dire Claw. And they can never win. Because eventually I'll get a good Dire Claw. Or because of the Endeavor, they'll be at 1 HP. I guess since it's not power pointed up, this is actually kind of awkward. They have to protect here. Yeah. So I'm not going to Endeavor this turn, but I'll Endeavor the next turn for sure. And then I think I seal the game. So this Carbink actually put in the work with the Endeavor. Oh, man. Playing around the screens, I'm like, okay. As long as they don't set up fast enough, because they gave me so many opportunities to get damage. The fact they let in Incineroar, the fact that they played passive Snarl, the fact that I was able to like build up all that damage, knock out Incineroar early, like I took the knockout on Grim too, and then was able to isolate this Annihilate by itself was incredible. We're going to go for Dire Claw, we're going to go for Endeavor. Okay, they go for Drain Punch, perfect. Because they don't want to play around Dire Claw stats anymore, and they think I'm going to Body Press, but I just Endeavor, bring it down to 3 HP. There's no shot you're living anything from my Entity. And even if you do, Carbink might be able to pick up the knockout. Actually, no, not after Drain Punch recovery. But like, Entity is guaranteed faster than Annihilate, so there is no worries here. So we go out into Entity, we click Expanding Force. The entire time I've just been waiting for this position, getting that chip in Annihilate, stalling out the light screen, and then going for this Expanding Force end game. I did have to play a bit risky, but it worked out. Expanding Force, and I'm gonna smack my own Entity. Actually, they're gonna protect to get leftovers. I'm gonna Endeavor my Entity. Okay, now if they protected, it would have been funny. So my logic for going for the Endeavor into the Entity is so they get less Drain Punch healing the next turn. So I could Body Press KO anyway, regardless. But yeah, like Entity just outspeeding, gonna get the knockout. But you know what? It was just a flex to show if they protected again. Like, accept your loss. Accept your loss. Pelipper or Caledon, there is an Alolan Muck, which is awful to face against. Smeargle, Annihilate, and Whimsicott. I imagine it's Scarf Annihilate on this team. It makes the most sense to me, although beat up is a factor that they could have. I am still leading the Entity though, because Entity is a great lead against the team in general. I think I'm going to lead Entity, and I don't need my Stellar Terra, I think, in this game. My only problem is dealing with Muck is such a pain. I mean, such a pain to deal with. Because I don't have anything that like destroys the Muck. I think I bring Sneasler because they run Toxic, and I guess I'm gonna bring. Oh, I could bring Torkoal for the rain mode, but I'm not as concerned about the rain mode. I think actually, surprisingly, because I actually think Smeargle Muck is so annoying that they're probably gonna bring it. And I'm gonna bring Braviary in the back. They got options. Smeargle Muck. They got the rain mode. The weird thing is only one of these Pokemon can have Sash. I imagine the Sash is gonna be on Pelipper, which means the Sash shouldn't be on. I think the Sash should be on Smeargle, so it shouldn't be on Pelipper or Whimsicott. I imagine Whimsicott is Covert Cloak. I guess Pelipper, Safety Goggles, maybe a Life Orb. That's pretty common if you're not running Focus Sash on it. If that's the case, I think Torkoal is a lot less useful. Yeah. Because I'm not really worried about... Well, here's the thing. Even if it's Smeargle Muck combination, like, what's the way you are able to pass the stat boosts? Because none of those Pokemon get Psych Up. I guess that's another thing I guess I don't have to worry about. But the Muck itself is just really annoying for the team in general. Yep, we're going to see... Oh, Smeargle Annihilate. Huh. Versus Carbink and Entity. Okay. So Psychic Surge will activate. We will go for... Do I want to go into Sneasler? I mean, I think this is Final Gambit, but I think I always Expanding Force here. The question is, what am I doing with Carbink? Am I going for a Trick Room? I guess, like, the thing is, unless Smeargle has an attacking move, the Carbink's always around. Maybe I shouldn't Expanding Force. Maybe I should just... Actually, I should just probably just Hyper Voice. I'm going to Hyper Voice, and I don't think Terra's right here. I think I just attempted Trick Room. Let's see. So, Annihilate Smeargle is an interesting combination. I don't think this is bulk up related on the Annihilate. I mean, we're going to see a Terra come out immediately, which I'm surprised by. Okay. Just a Terra. Annihilate. Terra Darks, I mean, the hyper voice works out, but was not expecting that. Okay. They're going to be vulnerable to body press if I set it up properly. Terra Dark Throat Chop. Into the Entity. Picks as a knockout. I'm max speed Entity, so that should be Choice Scarf still. They go for the Spore. Okay. I mean, it's not great, but it's playable. I should have Terra Grassed, I suppose, but I mean, I can play out of this. Speed Rise doesn't really matter too much because all my Pokemon were slower than Smeargle initially. We're gonna go out into Sneasler, I suppose. I mean, it's the same thing. We're gonna try to break the Sash on the Smeargle, and we're gonna attempt to Trick Room again. I mean, Sneasler might be going nighty-night here, but I think that's acceptable. I might still go for the Terra Grass later on. They're going to switch out the Annihilate. So, I mean, they committed their Terra, which is nice. We're going to see the Archaludon coming out. Interesting. Okay. So, Archaludon reveals itself. They go for the Spore. Yep. I don't think this is too bad. Archaludon's an interesting brain. Did they not bring the Muck? They didn't bring the Muck. This makes it so much easier. We stay asleep, which is unfortunate. Moody, which is fine. I don't know if they're going to follow me this turn, but I am going to attempt to close combat the Archaludon, and I am going to go for the Terra Grass this time in Trick Room because I don't want to take the super effective Flash Cannon. So I really would like a Wake Up here, specifically the Carbink. If the Sneasler wakes up too, that's really good, but I would really like Carbink to get a Trick Room up now. Like, now would be really good. So we go for the Terra Grass, a bit late, but... Oh. I forgot they could do that. I forgot they could do that. Okay. So they go for the Water Shuriken Body Press. Oh, it's just Ape and the Archaludon. Okay. Body Press. Wow, that still didn't actually do that much. We do wake up, which is nice. We get a close combat off into the Archaludon. We get Chip, which is actually kind of nice. Okay. It's another stamina boost. And we wake up with Carbink. That's huge. We get the Trick Room up. Fantastic. Okay. We actually have a game. Surprisingly. Surprisingly. The Smeargle is going down to the combination of Body Press plus Dire Claw. I am going to go for it into the Smeargle. I could Endeavor here in close combat, but I have no idea what... If that even KOs Archaludon at like +5. Yeah, and I expected like a Follow Me coming out. So that's fine. So we'll get the Body Press into Smeargle. Wasn't Sash. Wait, where's the Sash? I regret not close combating now, but I thought that was gonna be Sash. Okay. They go for the Body Press again. Wait, but Carbink survives and it can get an Endeavor off. That's huge, actually. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Pelipper coming in. Or no, Muck. Ah, shoot. I still have to get rid of the Muck. All right, I'm going for the Endeavor strat, I suppose, into the Archaludon. I need to get rid of that. Why do you have Protect? Do both of these mods have Protect? Could I have just Endeavored close combat to Muck and KO'd it? I'm so sad because I was thinking like I choose one of them, but I chose the wrong one. You just go for Minimize though, okay. I mean, just is a subjective here. I'm going for close combat into... Okay, who am I going for to double up into? I need to target one now. I guess if it doesn't have Assault Vest on the Archaludon, maybe Braviary can break through. I guess I double up the... I guess I have to double up the Muck in this case. Let's go for it. You better not protect the muck. You better not protect the muck, and I need both Pokemon to hit. Oh my goodness, like this game has been a wild journey so far. Okay, they sacked their Annihilate, which is huge because like I didn't think they would actually do that, but this works out huge for me, assuming I connect with the muck. No! It's still good damage. It's Poison Fang? Okay, let me think. Is there a way I can come back in this? It's looking extremely unlikely. All right, we go out into our Hiusian Braviary. Let me see. Close combat. I got target one. You know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna close combat the muck, and I'm gonna go for the hurricane into the muck as well. I think muck is protecting most likely, but we'll see. All right, they don't. I get the close combat though. I knew that the ape was choice scarf, so we are able to pick up the knockout with the close combat. Okay. I could have went for... I don't think Dazzling Gleam KO, so I don't think there was any point of ever going for it. Let's see. They go for... They get Defiant, but I don't think that's helping them in this game. Hurricane lands into the muck, which is insane to think about. 1 HP. Hit yourself, hit yourself, hit yourself. Oh my goodness, this is winnable. Hit yourself. Please. There's no way. I guess it wasn't like +6 or +4. It's not like super insane that we hit Hurricane. But like, with how it was going on earlier, like, oh my goodness. All right, our Caledon comes in. I just want to know if you have power, if you have Electro Shot. I'm going to go for Protect with Sneasler, and I'm going to go for a Protect with Braviary. Because I want to scout for the Electro Shot. Because if you have Electro... Actually, no, it wouldn't matter if you have Electro... Actually, it does matter if you have Electro Shot, right? It does. Oh, they just Dragon Pulse. Okay. Into Sneasler. Which I assume picks up the knockout. I think the main question is, do you have Electro Shot? Because the thing about Electro Shot is if you have Electro Shot, then you probably one-shot the Braviary. I probably should have just... Actually, I should have just Dazzling Gleam. There's no way they were going to Electro Shot and leave the Sneasler vulnerable. And I didn't reveal Protect at all in the game. So yeah, that was definitely a big mistake there. Dazzling Gleam does the most damage if I'm not mistaken. I mean, Tinted Lens, but single target Dazzling Gleam. Actually, I don't realistically know. I think it's Dazzle, but we'll see. Dragon Pulse gonna come out. This should knock out Sneasler. Yeah, we have too many Spadef drops. Dazzling Gleam gonna come out. Okay, we do 2-shot. I'm just trying to figure out if they have Electro Shot, man. But they have Protect, Dragon Pulse, Body Press. And if it's Rain, you should have Electro Shot. But we don't know the item. The thing is, if they read that and go for Electro Shot and I Protect here and they don't have Power Herb, I get screwed. So it's kind of a mind game both ways. I'm just going to risk it. I'm Dazzling Gleaming. They Protect, okay. It's like Dazzling Gleam. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. If they're protecting the Scout, I feel like they are Electro Shot, right? Like that just screams to me that they're Power Herb. You know what? If they baited me, they deserve it. I'm protecting. Come on. Reveal the Power Herb. Reveal the Power Herb. Reveal the Power Herb, or I could get a double. If I get a double, I'm fine. I love calling it. Okay, I knew it. I did. Like when you're not revealing leftovers, at the very least, I'm like, okay, this hat or a Soul Vest, like it has to be. Called our bluff twice. Dazzling Gleam. They're gonna protect. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They Terra the Annihilate so they can't Terra our Cal. Oh my goodness. What was this game, man? What was this game? The fact that I hit Hurricane at +2 when if I just hit the Endeavor, I would have been fine. If I had doubled up the Muck. The fact that they switched out the Arcalon too is insane. Okay, they go for Electroshock, get +2, but like there's no reason for me to protect anywhere. There's no rain, so they do have to take a charge turn. Dazzling Gleam should easily finish off the Arcalon on its range. Yep. I cannot believe this game, man. I cannot believe what just happened. Spherical Muck, goodbye. Goodbye. Get out of here. Get out of here. All right, let's go over to games. In game 1, big Ursaluna knockout immediately, and then got the setup with the Hiusian Braviary to sweep under Trick Room with the smackdown weakness policy in terrain. In game 2, was able to set up Trick Room, but bulky Pelipper, Varcalodon, and Primarina were difficult to break through. A lucky Dire Claw sleep onto Pelipper potentially helped, and staying in with Sneasler might have always been the best play, not switching on to Torkoal if the Rillaboom went for Woodhammer instead of Grassy Glide, as a Moonblast plus Woodhammer would have actually knocked out the Hiusian Braviary. In game 3, Double Dark is not fun for size spam, but Carbink was able to set up the Trick Room. However, the Terra Ghost Samurai was very terrifying and made it extremely difficult in the end. Double Trick Room to reset helped, and the only other thing I could have done was read the Terra and go for Expanding Force. Since they saw Dazzling Gleam and Body Press already, plus I had already seen the protect on the Samurai from the previous turn. In game 4, a great start, but I do wish I locked into Expanding Force with the Entity instead of Hyper Voice. Got sloppy towards the middle and had the ability to reverse Trick Room, so they could have come down to this potential speed tie between the Carbink and the Ursaluna, but the Torkoal was being locked into the Weather Ball, and not getting a knockout allowed my weakened Pokemon to clean up. In game 5, was able to isolate the Annihilate with the heavy damage output I had with the slow setup nature of the opponent's team. Then with some switching against the Annihilate allowed me to stall out light screens and weaken the Annihilate to finish it off. In game 6, this match was absolutely insane, and it would have been really great if I had clicked the Terra Grass immediately. Too much insanity to go through, but was able to miraculously come out after a win after some good RNG and calls at the end. All right, so what do I think about this team? It is a very convoluted setup. Setting up this Braviary requires a lot. You need the Carbink and the Entity, which is 2 Pokemon you have to bring. You have to play around Rillaboom grassy terrain quite a lot, which is pretty difficult in this format. So setting it up, very difficult, but when you do, it is able to do so much damage. You really do need Trick Room up, and thankfully we didn't really fight the standard teams in this episode against Steve, Rillaboom, and King Gambit. I think I played this team for about like 11 games, and I think I only ran into 2 of them, which were pretty difficult to maneuver. I think I faced one, and they just Ironhead flinched me with the King Gambit turn 1 to prevent Trick Room in a position where I was actually able to do really well with the Terrifying Ferrograph and Torkoal, because I probably would have been able to actually sweep the game under Trick Room otherwise. But yeah, I mean, that's also a weakness of this team. It's pretty slow. It does really rely on that Trick Room. The fastest monster, Entity, which isn't even the fastest Pokemon out there, so can be a bit difficult if you don't get that Trick Room up. But really fun team. If you'd like to try it out, the rental code is on your screen. Hopefully it's still available by the time this video comes out. If you would like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. But of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.